Hi guys, so Nigel Farage was interviewed by the Telegraph about the Conservatives, the general election and his organisation Reform UK. Farage said that the Tories don't believe in Brexit, whatever that means, but also claimed that there's a real chance that Reform will pick up many seats. Now, is this a comment to attempt to seek attention, or has he seen polling that the rest of us haven't? Can Reform UK win not just one seat but many? I don't think so, and I'll explain why in a moment.
Reform closed down tomorrow. The Tories will still only get 120 seats. They're done. It's over. They've lied to us. They're liars and charlatans. They didn't even believe in Brexit. They didn't believe in it. Boris didn't believe in Brexit. I mean, I've come to realise that, sadly, over this period of time. They're not worthy of our votes. They're going to lose anyway. And the opportunity for Reform isn't just to get millions of votes. I think there is the first past the post system is what it is. The last really big assault on it was Roy Jenkins, and that's all the way back in 1983. He didn't quite succeed, but he came very close. I think there's a real chance that Reform can win a very, very significant number of seats. And I think ultimately what is the Conservative Party? I'm told it's a broad church. Well, it's a broad church with no religion. It doesn't actually stand for anything.
Yeah.
So I would like to see this Conservative Party replaced. And the fact that it's been around for 190 years...
By what?
Or by something that actually believed in the country, believed in strong borders, believed in free enterprise, believed in strong defence.
But how would that work in practice?
Oh, I can't predict the future. I haven't got a crystal ball.
Okay, so the main point here, of course, Reform UK picking up a significant number of seats. Now, I don't know what he means by significant. I presume it's more than one. Now, at the moment, Reform UK have one MP. This is, of course, Lee Anderson, who defected, who was kicked out of the Conservative Party and then later defected to Reform UK. So at the moment, they have one. Is there a chance that they can pick up a significant number? I don't see that happening. Now, something could happen between now and the general election that could change that. But looking at the polling today, there's absolutely no chance that Reform UK can pick up a significant number of seats. They may not even get one seat extra. They may lose their seat, the one with Lee Anderson. That's more likely than not. Now, why is that the case? Because if you look at the polling, they're polling right next to the Conservatives. And in some cases, depending on some polling, it seems they're almost overtaking the Conservatives. Why does that not translate into seats? Because you can't look at polling at a national level. You have to look at the individual seat level, individual constituencies. And in no situation are they topping the poll. That's what would need to happen. Not that they're beating the Conservatives, but they'd have to be beating Labour as well. And they're not topping the poll in any constituency. Not that I've seen so far. That could change if something dramatic happened, like Nigel Farage joins, or the Tories have some sort of massive scandal. But it would require, the only path to a victory for Reform UK winning seats I can see is for a Conservative candidate to step aside, to be some massive scandal and the Conservative doesn't run. And the only candidate on the right is Reform UK. That's the only real way, because if you think about it, the Conservative or right-wing vote is split between two parties, the Conservatives and Reform. Now, where Reform do well are in the red wall, in the Labour-leaning seats. So these seats are more likely to go to Labour than they are to go to the Conservatives or Reform UK. And that's where Reform are doing their best. The only place they could win seats is maybe in the blue wall, but those are less likely to go to Reform UK. They're more likely to go to the Liberal Democrats. So the problem for Reform UK is their strongest standing is in Labour-leaning seats, not Conservative ones. And even if they were beating the Conservatives, they would have to have the Conservative step aside or engage in some sort of tactical voting to help Reform UK. And I don't see that happening with the Conservatives. The Conservatives would prefer to lose the seat, probably to the Labour Party, than to Reform UK. So, once again, some dramatic action could take place, dramatic event could take place where the Tories are completely destroyed and Reform UK manage to win a few seats. But at the moment, I don't see that happening. It would require the Conservatives to step aside and engage in tactical voting to help reform. But what does reform offer the Conservatives to achieve something like that? Nothing at the moment. Once again, if Nigel Farage joins this campaign, there's a possibility that he could help a number of candidates, but it would require them beating the Conservatives and the Labour Party, and I don't see that happening. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.